One question I get asked quite a lot is, how do you determine property value? Simply put, it's unfortunately a little bit complicated. It has to do with the way appraisers appraise homes by using comps and the income capitalization approach. It has to do with demand, scarcity, utility, and a few other things. Now, without further ado, let's talk about it. Hello, my name is Max Monahan. I'm a real estate agent in Portland, Oregon, and let's get right into how to determine property value. Before that though, please be sure to like the video if you're enjoying it so far. It does really mean a lot, and definitely be sure to subscribe as well if you enjoy personal finance and real estate related content. Anyway, let's get to it. Technically speaking, a property's value is defined as the present worth of future benefits arising from the ownership of the property. Unlike many consumer goods that are quickly used, the benefits of real property are generally realized over a long period of time. Therefore, an estimate of a property's value must take into consideration economic and social trends, as well as governmental controls or regulations and the environmental conditions that may influence the three elements of value: demand, the desire or need for ownership supported by the financial means to satisfy that desire; utility, the ability to satisfy future owners' desires and needs; and 3, scarcity, the finite supply of competing properties. Now that we have that mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's talk about what appraisals actually are. An appraisal is an opinion or estimate regarding the value of a particular property as of a specific date. Appraisal reports are used by businesses, government agencies, individuals, investors, and mortgage companies when making decisions regarding real estate transactions. The goal of an appraisal is to determine a property's market value, the most probable price that the property will bring in a competitive and open market buy. Market price, the price at which the property actually sells, may not always represent the market value. For example, if a seller is under distress because of the threat of foreclosure, or they need money really quickly, or if a private sale is held, the property may be sold way below its market value, and that is what a lot of investors look for when investing in property. Properties that are under the actual market value and the market price that they're buying it for is lower, so they have that initial part of equity that they built into the property just by getting a great deal. Now, there are two main appraisal methods. Technically, an accurate appraisal depends on the methodology of the collection of the data. Specific data covering details regarding the particular property and general data pertaining to the nation, region, city, and neighborhood where the property is located are collected and analyzed to arrive at that value. Appraisers use two basic approaches to determine a property's value. Method 1 is the sales comparison approach. The sales comparison approach is commonly used in valuing single-family homes and land. Sometimes called the market data approach, it is an estimate of value derived by comparing a property with recently sold properties with similar characteristics. These similar properties are referred to as comparables, and in order to provide a valid comparison, each must 1. Be similar to the subject property as possible, 2. Have been sold within the last year in an open, competitive market, and 3. Have been sold under typical market conditions. At least 3 comparables should be used in the appraisal process. The most important factors to consider when selecting the comparables are the size, comparable features, and perhaps most of all, location, which can have a tremendous effect on a property's market value. If you want to learn more about location, I do have a video up on that in this channel. It should be in the top right corner of your screen, so definitely be sure to click on that video after this video if you are interested in looking at location in comparison to real estate investing. Anyway, back to the video. Since no two properties are exactly alike, adjustments to the comparable sales prices will be made to account for dissimilar features and other factors that would affect value, including the age and condition of the building, the date of sale, and if economic changes have occurred between the date of the sale, terms and conditions of the sale, such as if the property seller was under distress, or if the property was sold between relatives, location, since similar properties might differ in price from neighborhood to neighborhood, and finally, physical features, including lot size, landscaping type, and quality of the construction, the number and type of rooms, the square feet of living space, if they have hardwood floors, a garage, kitchen upgrades, a fireplace, a pool, central air, etc. There are so many different variables, as you could probably have heard. Now, the market value estimate of the subject property will fall within the range formed by the adjusted sales price of the comparables. Since some of the adjustments made to the sales price of the comparables will be more subjective than others, weighted consideration is typically given to those comparables that have the least amount of adjustment. Now, number 2 is the income capitalization approach. Often called simply the income approach, this method is based on the relationship between the rate of return an investor requires and the net income that a property produces. It's used to estimate the value of income-producing properties such as apartment complexes, office buildings, and shopping centers. Appraisals using the income capitalization approach can be fairly straightforward when the subject property can be expected to generate future income, and when its expenses are predictable and steady. Appraisers will perform the following steps when using the direct capitalization approach. 1. They'll estimate the annual potential gross income. 2. They'll take into consideration vacancy and rent collection losses to determine the effective gross income. 3. They will deduct annual operating expenses to calculate the annual net operating income. 4. They'll estimate the price that a typical investor would pay for the income produced by the particular type and class of property. This is accomplished by estimating the rate of return or the capitalization rate. And lastly, they will apply the capitalization rate to the property's annual net operating income to form an estimate of the property's value. There was quite a lot to take in. I know you might be a little bit confused, so let's talk about what gross income multipliers are for a second. The gross income multiplier, otherwise known as the GIM, as I will be referring to it in the rest of this video as that is way too much to say, can be used to appraise other properties that are typically not purchased as income properties, but that could be rented, such as 1 and 2 family homes. The GRM method relates to the sales price of a property to its expected rental income. For residential properties, the gross monthly income is typically used, and for commercial and industrial properties, the gross annual income would be used. The gross income multiplier method can be calculated as follows. It's the sales price of the property divided by the rental income, and that equals the gross income multiplier, otherwise known as the GIM. Recent sales and rental data from at least 3 similar properties can be used to establish an accurate GIM. The GIM can then be applied to estimate fair market rental values of the subject property to determine its market value, which can be calculated as follows. The rental income times GIM, and that equals the estimated market value. Now, after all of that, let's talk about the bottom line. Accurate real estate evaluation is important for mortgage lenders, investors, insurers, and buyers, and of course sellers of the property. While appraisals are generally performed by skilled professionals, anyone involved in a real transaction can benefit from gaining a basic understanding of the 2 methods of real estate valuation, and I hope you learned a thing or 2 in this video. I know this video was a little bit complex. I did want to go a little bit more in depth than I usually do, but I will be making separate videos on the things that I talk about in this video, so definitely be sure to stay tuned for those. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about determining property value. Please don't forget to like the video if you liked it. It takes quite a bit of time to make each video, research, write the script, and edit. So please do be sure to like it, and be sure to subscribe for 2 videos a week on both real estate and personal finance related content. And until next time, bye.